got to get all the shit. Did you start it? Did you get it?
All the juicy stuff?
You got to get all of Logan's bodily fluids flowing out. Are you done? Did you start?
Logan is farting a lot.
Okay.
Farting.
And are we going?
I love how he says farting.
Farting.
All right, oh, Logan. This is why we call it finishing the bottle.
Yes. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Midnight Movies Distiller. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Midnight Movie Distillery's Finishing the Bottle. I'm one of your hosts, Logan Lynch.
I'm too far away from you. I got to get close.
I'm another one.
You're plenty close.
I'm another one of your hosts, Warwick Price.
I'm Lon Black.
Next to Farty Boy here.
Our guest star. From the wildly popular Everyday Barbecue on YouTube, barbecuing, cooking recipes, all of that. And not just, we're not talking just like somebody who comes up and says, well, cook a pork chop to 145 degrees. No, this guy has recipes for salsa, for different sauces, for everything you can think of that goes, all the accoutrement that goes with your recipes.
I don't know what
to
that
make
means,
sure
but
it is a phenomenal dish. This is Mr. Mike Notch.
And my channel has nothing to do with movies or bourbon.
And it doesn't matter.
But he likes movies, and that's
But if
why
you
we
like
invite
But I
food.
like movies and I like bourbon.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
That's why I'm here.
That is why he's here, because he's a bourbon freak like the rest of us.
He's a bourbon freak.
Right.
Bourbon freak.
So
You teed it up.
I did.
You teed it up.
Yes.
I could tee anything up for him, and he'll come up with if I said vaginal blood farts, he would find a song that would go with vaginal blood farts. Is that too far?
Wow.
Is that too far?
Everyone
As you can
must
tell,
have
this is an
known.
unrated
Should I
show.
bleep that?
No.
I don't know. Should I? Is that too much?
No.
It
Your
was
eyes
too
are
much for
turning
me.
all red.
I don't
The
know.
Scary
I don't
thing
know
is,
about
where did you
them.
come up with vaginal blood farts? That's what I'm a little concerned with.
Back in.
Oh, he's
the
got a
day-
story. That's even
there is
worse.
a story.
There's
Is it
story.
like? Is it like?
There's one girl I
queefing?
dated.
Is it like?
There's one time.
Queefing.
Friends of mine, we were
queef.
sitting around a
It's a queef.
campfire, and the test was who could come up with the most disgusting.
There's always a
thing.
campfire.
Yeah, and liquor. Who could come up with the most disgusting phrase ever? The
Wow.
most disgusting phrase ever said. And somebody came up with, I don't know if I can say the whole thing, because I only said part of it.
Just say the whole thing.
Well, the first part was schmegmated vaginal blood farts. Wow. And that won. Jim Ivo, shout out to Jim Ivo, came up with the schmegmated vaginal blood farts as the most disgusting ever said. Are you both all vomiting in your mouth? Because
I am not vomiting in my mouth, but that is a very interesting phrase.
Speaking of vomiting in your mouth, let's pick our bourbons.
They're not vomit. These are good.
I know, but what
I would like to give Lon a pat on the back for the picking of these three. I don't think I did not like one of them. I think they
Say
were.
that again. You
yeah,
not
you
think-
did
don't
not-
think you did not like, right?
It's a double negative.
So that
Shut up.
works. So that works.
No,
I
it
don't
doesn't.
think I did
well,
not
this is-
like.
So that
I
means
did-
you
did-
liked.
God damn it!
There
rephrase
isn't
it.
one there he doesn't like.
There you go.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Somebody get this show on the
That's
road.
called
right?
alcohol.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. So which one you picking there? Schmegmated boy?
Schmegmated vaginal bleeding or whatever.
Blood farts.
Blood
actually.
farts. God damn it. So
Just
I
fucking
might go
pick
with the
one,
burn.
bitch.
I think I'm going to go with the burn.
Which
As in
burn?
big
Can you help
burns?
me out? They're all fucking whiskey.
The bigger burn, which was the bourbon bone.
The
bone-
backbone.
Backbone
Yeah.
bourbon
Past that
uncut.
backbone.
That's
Uncircumcised.
That's gonna be me as well.
See, that would have.
Really?
What if you had uncircumcised
Wow.
schmegmated vaginal blood farts?
Uncircumcised schmegmated vaginal blood farts.
How can it
'Cause
be
you know, vaginal and
uncircumcised?
and
Because you could be uncircumcised.
Not
It-
if he's
and-
talking
hey,
about
there's-
vaginas.
There's
vaginal?
hermaphrodites out there.
is that possible?
Wow, we went
Circumcised
off the
vaginal?
rails.
What are you doing? What are you
Because
talking
they
about?
a hermaphrodite.
Oh my God!
There,
this-
fine.
This
Hermaphrodited
podcast
schmegmated.
is way off kilter.
Uncircumcised
We're in a
schmegmated
very
vaginal blood
bad
farts.
We were
bad
just talking with
direction.
Mike earlier about the fact that like the first like how many minutes are the most important parts of
30
the
seconds.
I think we're.
We lost everybody.
Hey,
We
you
will
lost
never
everybody
get
when you said vaginal
recommended.
blood farts.
I think we can just leave this recording for our own sake.
This goes into the private barrel.
I'm not even gonna listen to it.
This would be
again.
like a. This would
What are you
be.
kidding
This would be
me?
like a family
Oh,
8
all right,
millimeter.
Who wants more
Warwick
of
made
this?
his.
So-
Warwick made his pick.
Yeah,
What
I'm
are you
gonna.
going for? What are you going for? Out of all those, you're going for the backbone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Really?
3 out of 4. Like
I'm
the
impressed.
backbone.
I'm impressed.
it's the closest thing to what I normally drink out of everything that you've presented me. to.
Even the
Yes.
obsidian or whatever the fuck. I can't-
Oppidan.
Oppidan.
Don.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
not gonna go with too heavy of a pour here, but
Keep going.
I gotta
I got a
say,
1 hour drive after this.
out of
Oh, yeah,
the
you need a
three of
cork.
these, I don't. Yeah. All right.
Which one are you going to go for?
Well, I don't mean to go against the grain on
No.
everybody here.
Pun intended, right?
I would actually go with the backbone.
Oh. Oh, 4 out of 4.
Yeah, I thought I'd.
Shit.
It was the best.
I thought I'd be the only one going for the backbone. That was the problem. I really thought I would be the only one.
But even if you looked at the scores,
oh yeah, did all the scores work out?
I think everyone had.
We'll have to look at that. They're not on the
This
charts.
was my highest
yet that I've
rated, I
got.
believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my, but the
Cheers
that
to
cap is tight.
How many videos did we do today?
This is the fourth one technically.
Fourth one. Cheers to 4
Yeah.
highly successful videos.
May we be
We're all love each other.
multi-millionaires.
I'm good with that.
Start. God, the smell on this one.
This is the start. This is the start to multi-millionairedom.
Yep. Yes.
Nobody else gets plum or fig, huh?
Let's see now. See now that
Telling
you
me.
mention it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. No, I seriously do want to put a splash in this to see what happens with it. 'Cause
I think
wanna
I'm
see what
gonna.
comes up. Yeah. Because
Wanna
I
see
think
what it
it's a
does.
150 or 110, so it's
150. We'd be.
it's a
dead
one
or
fuck
blind.
you is what it is. All right.
Math is not a strong sword.
So we can't monetize that if we keep swearing like fucking idiots.
No, these videos are all going to be demonetized.
That's what I
if you ever
figured.
get
That's what I
monetized.
figured.
So at this
We
point,
don't
We don't get
it.
monetized.
They really
so.
just don't like fucks.
No,
Fuck.
no.
That's
If
why-
you swear, they demonetize you. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things you can do to be demonetized, especially
Yeah, because they want any excuse to.
especially the well, they want to
they'll
keep
still
all
show
the
the
money.
ads.
Well, then they keep the money.
Yeah.
But so is it that?
But who are they?
But is it that like so if
Them.
if we have fucks in our videos, then we don't get sponsorship, as in there's no ads.
The way I look at it is every video I do is an audition for a new sponsor. So if you have a sponsor,
Then you don't want to be on this show anymore.
if you have a sponsor that's
tell 'em you're
sensitive
here.
to fucks, then yeah, they'll probably step away and go somewhere else. Yeah.
What if
So
it-
bourbon, we're fine.
Yeah.
Horror movies, we might be okay.
Yeah,
I think you're
horror
fucking
movies
fine. I don't know.
Fucking A, brother.
Fuck.
Manscaped. If you want to
Yeah,
sponsor
Manscaped.
us?
Manscaped would definitely do it.
So
yeah.
I will say, because I do know that one of our fans, a great show, I do want to give a shout out to Going for Spooky. Going for Spooky is a channel you can link to. He's probably described somewhere
Put
here, but it's
something in the
going with the
description.
number 4 and then Spooky. He does a show where he reviews horror movies too, just like us. Occasionally drinks in them, which is great. He does bleep his swears, which is probably the smarter move than what we do.
that just seems like way
But he
too
seems
much
like
work.
He seems like it's
We
a
don't
great
like that.
show. You got to go check out.
Did
the
you
show.
add a splash?
I did.
You know what?
I didn't try it yet.
The
Uh-oh.
the caramel notes really shine
Oh,
after this.
now I'm
splash.
Now
excited.
you're making
I'm
me
excited.
do it. God bless America.
I mean, they really shine after
All
the
right.
splash.
Do they shine?
They
Give
do.
me
They shine.
All right. I added a splash.
So the burn is going away.
Right.
The flavors are coming out.
Yep.
The only wrong part is it's warm water.
Right. We need ice.
Ice is what would
We
do
need
it.
ice. Ice would. Ice would be.
This
key.
would be phenomenal.
Really good on ice.
Yeah.
About.
Isn't that what I said
About
in the
10
first
minutes after the
review?
pour.
You
I'm
know,
telling
you know
you, it
if,
would be
if
ideal.
you'd have thought
One
about
big cube
this
is perfect.
like last week when we recorded the last
I
episode,
did say that last week.
you could have put this in the refrigerator.
You know what?
Yeah, way
I'm
to
not
go.
that bright, but I will say I did talk about this being better with a big cube of ice.
So now I'm
Yeah.
a little upset because that does take away from the burn, which was one of the things that I actually liked.
That's why I am not
Yeah,
But-
diluting
don't
it.
do it, man.
But you're weird, brother.
am. I'm
You
an
in,
like
so,
the
in so many
burn.
ways.
He
I-
likes the burn, and he prefers
sort
it
of
to be loaded with sugar.
I'm weird, sort of like the movies we watched.
And what
that we-
movies might that be like?
I think one of them was Stitches,
Stitches would be an interesting
a 2012
interview.
movie.
Okay.
And the other one was Terrifier.
Terrifier. Would they
Both
both
are
be,
revenge clowns, right?
Oh, would they have anything with makeup on them or anything
Something like
like
that,
Would they
like-
That would be
Yeah.
clown.
be clown.
Clowny.
Clown.
Yeah, they don't
Has
clown
anybody
around.
seen the movie Clown?
Nah,
It's a horror movie.
I think
is that the one
have.
where the guy puts
Very
the
old.
nose on and then
Very-
like can't get it off?
Right. Well,
Okay.
then can't get off. He transforms into
Yeah,
clown,
yeah.
becomes a stick. And
Kinda like the
that's a
Sa- kinda-
great
kinda like the
fucking
Santa
movie,
Claus.
man. Nothing like Santa Claus. Nope. Fuck off. That's a great fucking movie, man.
Yeah, Tim Allen's awesome.
It's not,
Oh god. While we're on the subject. of
okay.
clowns.
Moving on.
So one thing I kept trying to find, because that's just how stupid I am. But like I was looking through all of the different eggs in the Stitch movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping, but
The
granted,
Stitch
this
movie?
wasn't Stitches. Sorry, Stitch. I was really hoping it was gonna have a reference to killer clowns of some sorts, like either
Or
killer clowns from outer
Pennywise.
space,
I was expecting
or Pennywise, or
Yeah.
even like serial killer clown, aka John Wayne Gacy. I was
Yeah.
kind of hoping they were going to have one, although the guy that's getting the BJ at the end kind of looked like him a little bit. But
Actually, it's so funny. That guy, every time I saw him, I thought that's Paul Giamatti.
Really?
Okay.
You thought he looked
But
like
it's
Paul
not,
Gi-
obviously,
No, but I
but-
mean, you thought he looked like Paul
Yeah.
Giamatti?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't get that,
that'd be
but okay.
funny if it was like just some role that he didn't.
His
want.
clown outfit apparently had a zipper.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
interesting.
that was the key, right?
Which
there.
which
Making
Paul
it
in
like
that movie could have used, so he didn't piss himself.
Yeah.
Just,
So unrealistic.
That was a very interesting end of the movie. I thought it was
That
well
really-
thought
That
out.
seemed to really upset. Now,
You
did
didn't like
did
that,
that
did you?
unlock
I
any like?
I was already like, and then when that happens, I'm like, why? What's the reasoning
It
for
was
this?
because
It's
He
fine.
was see what Mike was asking himself is why? Why do I have an erection? That's what he was.
Well, that started right off the bat, the way the movie opened up,
Yes.
and I
Well-
maintained it for the entire 2 hours.
but like, okay. So one of the funny things you had to admit was like hilarious was when he's fucking his girlfriend and he has like, the little horn.
Yes, and
and
it
he's
beats
like,
Yeah,
way.
That's just because he's like, all right, get out of the way.
I mean, it
was
set,
hilarious.
it set the tone for the
That
entire
was
movie.
hilarious.
And it really never came off of
It
that, honestly.
absolutely.
They did a good job on making that like where it was at was perfect.
They're pretty much like, if you're not okay with this, you should
you
turn
might as
it
well
off.
just turn
Right,
this
right,
movie off.
right. They're giving you pre-warning.
Right.
This is the movie. You don't like
This
it,
is
go
what
away.
you signed up for. bro.
Yes, yeah.
That was
you make
because
it past here.
It seemed natural because when it got his way, like, and he moves out of the way, like, you totally believe that was like an error in the movie, like that was just naturally happened, and they used it.
Speaking of, they had the outtakes, which I thought were actually quite funny.
Yeah.
Where where,
Oh, at the end, yeah.
where he's scooping out the braids and it just
Right,
starts
and it
falling off,
fell
and he's just
off.
like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just looks at the camera like.
Because
all right.
that's the kind of movie it was. It was a fun
It seemed like it
movie.
was fun.
They did do the it thing.
Okay.
Oh,
somebody still got the burn.
Oh, here we go.
Sure you don't want that splash?
Here we go.
He's like, I'll take the water.
Somebody's new at the whiskey thing.
Yes.
Oh
virgin.
my God, you're a virgin. They did do the it thing, which I thought was very good, and it gave the movie a little bit more substance, where it was like everybody has kids, and then those kids grown up, and they gave you little flashbacks. Oh, here's Jimmy. Here's Tommy.
Yeah.
Here's, what? So you can see that they became.
Is that because none of them looked anything like
No.
their child?
That is
Like,
true.
To-
'Cause they-
like
they
Tommy's the only one
kinda
that,
did.
like the main character was the only one that I think looked a little bit like him.
I think the fat kid, they kind of
Bulger?
laid him. Of course, the glasses kind of helped, but that kid kind of was like him. But you bought it. It was enough.
I didn't.
You didn't buy it?
I don't think
Come
like
on, what did it matter? You're looking at it going. They're telling you, all right, this actor was this.
They were
actor.
so
You okay
good
with
that I actually thought
They
that
grew
they
up.
filmed it 6 years earlier.
right,
I honestly did.
right.
Yeah.
See, there
That'd
you
be
go.
interesting.
But actually, that is another. It's a funny thing. So like so 10-year-old birthday party. Obviously, they're in high school, so they're 16 because obviously it's 16th birthday party.
Thanks for the math on that, by the way.
Well, clearly because you don't.
I wouldn't have done
do
it.
Math,
Nope,
yeah.
wouldn't have done it.
But just it's like they just look so much bigger.
Oh, they didn't look 16.
No.
And the way they were behaving at the party, like that was well beyond, what I was doing at
16-year-old?
16.
Yeah.
When I was
And-
16, all I was worried about was a car. I
Well,
was like,
yeah.
ooh, getting my license and getting a car.
I was worried
That's-
about girls. Were you not thinking about girls?
I was humping
Well,
my
that
car.
goes with
At 16?
Yes.
But so like, because it's funny because you can smoke in England. You can smoke at 16.
Yeah.
But it's
that
like you
explains a lot.
still can't smoke in a school. So like the whatever the guy's name was now, the guy who was always seemed to be smoking.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that outside the school.
No, I mean, they were more like 18, 19
right,
acting. And then I'm like, why didn't they just say 8 years later or 9 years later?
right, because it
was
would have
kinda
worked.
weird.
Because it would have worked just as well.
Right.
Was there a point
There was
for them
no
being
reason
6
for it.
years?
Not that I know of. I can't think of it.
Yeah,
No.
it seemed,
I don't remember that either.
I did not. I was trying to find some correlation, but I thought maybe they would explain it when he was going into the the previous or the information that he had gathered. I thought he was going to be like, oh, every 6 years. That's kind of to your point about it too. It's like his is every 27 years, so maybe
Right.
it's like with
Right,
Stitches.
right.
It's
They
every
just
6
picked
years.
they just picked how many
Yeah.
years? Let's do 6.
But
Yeah.
so also
They
the
should've done 8.
but also
They
the other
should've
thing
done
is
8.
so do you think if there'd been a flyer for like some some like sale at the local like furniture store that had landed on Stitch's gravestone, he would have woken up as well and killed people. Like,
wow, a deal on a love seat.
I get what you're saying. It's like he woke up, grabbed the flyer, knew that it was Tommy's birthday, and that's when he was going to get his revenge. I don't know if that was an excuse or a convenience.
Well,
it was a real convenience. I mean, the way
the way I took that, the way I
just
took
have to catch it.
yeah,
the way I took that was he had not had a party since then. So had he had a party at some point,
party
then he
And
would
that
have
is
come
true.
alive.
That is true. Cause he
But
said
why
it's-
6?
You know, I don't think I caught that. But 6 years was when he was just ready because he was horny and wanted to.
Yeah.
do
because
the
he
girl.
was taking the
Do
whole
I make you
anxiety
randy, baby?
medicine.
Katie, right?
Kate.
Kate. As
Yes.
opposed to Katie.
Kate.
Katie was bad. Kate's okay.
Kate's.
Kate.
Just Kate.
Okay. Just Kate.
Kate plus 8.
No.
Okay,
But I.
All right.
You're legless
Yeah. Legolas?
and armless.
So.
For those of you listening,
Yeah.
Logan just grabbed.
Oh yeah, I should probably tell them.
Thank you for
I have
bringing that up, Mike.
a rather bloody leg
Thank you for
nearby. It's
bringing
my
that
nice reminder.
and shook it viciously.
Yes. And
I
Okay,
gotta
whatever
say,
reason.
I keep looking at that blood drip. It looks like a swastika.
Wow.
Does that not?
Why is it really swastika? I think it's a swastika.
I think it's just a swastika.
As opposed
Are
to
you trying to like?
It's not
swastika?
Jewish.
Yeah.
It's swastika.
So
instead of
well, I mean, the
swastika.
people in the
You're
video
gonna- you're gonna
might be
fucking-
able to make that out, but I think that was purely
Well,
unintentional.
hang
but-
on.
You're gonna,
Oh,
you're
wait,
gonna-
we can zoom
there-
in.
You're gonna crucify me just for the extra H.
Let's
in
see what
there?
everybody thinks. Everybody put in
Would
the
they crucify
comments.
you
Is
or
that
put you
is
in
that
a
a swastika
or
or
a
not?
swastika.
Or is it a
Oven, but-
not a swastika?
Yeah.
would've been a guess.
Wow, we are just trying to not
all
get
right, so let's-
monetized
Yeah, we are.
today.
So
aren't we?
let's redirect here. Pivot.
Pivot.
We have I've comments. So I've had people come up, fans of the show, come up to me at conventions and shows and whatnot.
Which honestly,
And
that would be the
one
coolest
comment that I
feeling.
did get was, when you do the finishing the bottle
Mhm.
and you pit one movie against the other, you don't really pit one movie against the other.
Oh, we do.
We
do,
have.
but it's a sort of a roundabout way. So let's pit them against each other directly.
Head to head or in certain categories?
Well, it would have to be. Oh, goddamn, blinking light again.
The
What
blinky
the
blinky.
mother fudge? You know what? Let me check to see if this other one has been actually downloading properly.
Just technical
for those
difficulties,
listening,
but
it downloaded. It did not give me a successful download.
oh, dun. So
But let's pit them against each other.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
well, let's do that. So you've got Stitches, 2012, budget of roughly $2 million, right? At least that's what the internet says. I don't know. And then you've got Terrifier, a budget of, what did we say, 35,000?
Actually, yeah. So yeah, 35,000. Yeah.
So if you have these two films, and the funny thing is I think the consensus we had was Terrifier is still the better of the two.
Absolutely.
But it's a different movie. Really is.
And that's why I'm thinking is just learning how I was supposed to, what kind of an eye I was supposed to watch Stitches with, and I did not. It's really a hard comparison because they're not the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. You know what? Just a little side note. It downloaded fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
It exported fine. I mean.
All else fails. They don't
Sorry,
care.
we're talking about video export. We got a little blinking light, and we're concerned what the fuck that means.
It's recording. We don't
It's
care.
recording, so we're good.
We don't edit.
If something goes wrong, and you don't get an episode this week. Sorry to the six
get a-
listeners that we got.
You'll get an 18-minute finishing the bottle. No.
But so the difference is that Terrifier, I think, was a serious movie with comedic breaks. I think
it was
Stitches
needed
was a comedy
for the
with
seriousness
nothing
of it.
serious about it.
Yeah. So I think Terrifier needed to break that tension because it's very tense, when you think about it, because
Yeah.
it's the point of Terrifier literally is to terrify you, but it's also to make you wince and kind of.
Yes, but that's what made the comedy. So when he's cutting the girl down the backbone, or cutting her in half, backbone. When he's cutting her in half, and he looks back at the girl, isn't this fun? This is great. You wanted to. I mentioned this in the last podcast. You wanted to laugh
Yep.
and you were shocked at the same time because you were like, I can't believe I'm watching this, and want to laugh at it.
Well, I think the comedy helped just give you this wider range of emotion, and then
Absolutely.
at times throughout
Brought
the
you up,
movie, you
slammed
didn't
you
really
down.
know what emotion you were supposed to use.
Absolutely. Which
That's
made
what
it
I loved
terrifying.
about it. Yeah.
Because you didn't know when this guy's laughing, you're like, oh shit, he thinks this is funny. We're dead.
Yeah. Something bad's about to happen.
Yep.
But also, I think that there's a certain amount of, you feel like you want to laugh. Like, you feel that this is, like, maybe I'm just sick. But just, it's...
Well, clearly, but still, what's your point?
But the point is just, it's like, it's funny to me. Like when he does his comedic
Sick
parts,
son of a bitch.
it's funny
Yeah.
to me.
So-
And I
and
think
funny
that,
at the
Is that a
same time.
desensitization thing, though? Like, I mean, I know that's the thing is, when I saw the hacksaw scene, it did not. It was just like, oh no, he's not going to, But then, oh, he did, But it wasn't so much to me. It wasn't as shocking, I think, as to a normal viewer seeing that. You know what I mean? Like a normal person watching that would probably just go, "This is appalling," and walk away from it or whatever. But to me, I was like, "Oh, he's not going to do it." Oh, he fucking did it,
Right.
And that to me, part of it, as you noticed, I kind of smiled as I'm saying that because then you're kind of like, I think that probably added to your laughter is the fact that you're like, I can't believe he's fucking doing this,
Right. But that's also part of why he's popular, I think, because of the simple fact that the funny side of art, being a clown or being the mime, that normal people hate mimes. Being a mime and doing such horrific things made you love the movie because you're like, I'm smiling at him eviscerating this woman.
Right.
Or I'm laughing at the fact that he just cut the whole front off this one person and he's wearing it like a suit. And you're like entertained by that because it made that sort of stuff entertaining because it was funny and horrific.
It just kept your emotions on their toes.
Absolutely.
You just didn't know what to feel at any given moment, and it was great. I mean,
Absolutely.
it was great from
Absolutely.
start to finish, and it started a little slow, but not too slow.
Now, they have to do the setup,
Right?
but clearly they didn't need to spend a lot of time on the setup.
No, and
And
after
I love how they kind of poke fun at the fact too that well, if we had just left, even though she's drunk, you probably would have been safer than fucking staying and eating a piece of pizza, right? When it comes to what they ended up in, even if they ended up in an accident, it probably would have not. They wouldn't have been as mangled as
So-
she ended up being.
Go ahead.
so
you got a point.
the only part in the movie, and so I love Terrifier. I'd actually almost say I like Terrifier 2 more.
Hold
but-
that thought,
We
my
found
friend,
somebody's
till the
kink.
next time.
Um,
Wow.
but
Wow. We
But-
found some pervert in the group.
but so like I didn't quite understand why and I can't remember what the hell her name is now, Tara's sister.
Victoria.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Like why she attacked the reporter.
Right. I
Big-
will say that entire first sequence threw me off. Because I didn't understand the story, what was going on, and then of course I didn't know who Victoria was when I first saw the movie until they started the story. And even when they showed the sister in the studying and they called her Victoria, I didn't connect the two
Right.
because you don't think about it because Victoria doesn't look like that deformed person that was on
Right.
the TV show. So to me, I think they didn't explain that enough. I think that's a flaw in the movie. I don't think they really clarified that to connect the pieces. It took me a long time to figure that out.
So
They tied it at the end,
I
and that
have-
was a shock at the end.
I have a theory behind that.
I have a theory.
I have a theory. Indeed. No, I feel like, because as I was watching it, because this was I think my third viewing of it, I kind of noticed that art seemed to only hurt people that either like hurt him in some way or bothered him in some way. Like he didn't, the pizza guy came up, said, "You want something?" and walked away. He was fine with that. He went and shit in the guy's bathroom. The guy grabs him, throws him out, so then he kills him.
I don't know. What did the
But
crazy
but
cat
then
lady
also
do?
the friend Dawn was being a bitch to him. Like, oh well, I'll take a picture with
Tara
him. And she's
wasn't.
grabbing his face.
Yeah, and
so
the
that
cat
my
lady
theory
wasn't.
on that with Tara, she took the ring off.
Yeah, but what about the cat lady?
Cat lady.
The cat lady, he left her alive. She was still alive. She was just ripped up. But she was the means
Why
to
bother
the...
ripping her up?
Because he wanted that baby and she wanted it back. So
He didn't want the baby.
He wanted the baby.
He couldn't have cared less about the baby.
Because he liked the baby.
He did that because he was toying with her.
Right.
I'm just giving you my theory.
Let's hear it.
That was my theory.
Now we got a show.
So he only wanted to hurt people that were hurting him. She was hurting him by taking the baby away.
But he knew nothing about the
he
baby.
took the baby
Didn't matter.
from her.
He found the baby. That became his
No,
baby.
he took it from her. So
It was in a cradle.
it
She was
wasn't a-
gone.
it
She
wasn't a
left.
cradle.
She
It-
left to go complain to
But he's
the other
not going to
guy.
go. Art's not going to go picking up some doll and playing with a doll. He specifically took the doll out of the cradle, knowing it was her weakness, knowing it was something that she loved. That's why he sat in that dank hallway in the
Dank.
crawl space, whatever
I like
it was,
dank.
to wait for her to notice that he's got her. Otherwise, he would have taken it and hidden away. But
But
he waited for her to notice her and come approach her.
But that does bring up the other good point, though. So clearly, she was psychotically attached to this doll.
Clearly.
So why would she just leave it in the stroller? And
Listen,
and
She thought she was the only one. Her and that girl were the only ones renters in
Listen,
that.
We've all left our kids in a stroller at the gas station or alone in the middle of a field, right?
Jesus Christ.
No?
no,
Just me?
No,
I mean,
last
not
time
me.
I checked.
It's hypothetical. It's hypothetical. I don't know who would have done something that terrible.
Sorry.
You know, some girl
Julie,
out on the
sorry,
random internet's
Fuck,
going to go, Dad?
Mike, you want to start talking here?
Father of the year.
Jesus Christ.
After somebody drank Backbone bourbon. No, but that was just my thought on it because I started looking into it more to obviously because that's just kind of what I do when I start watching these serial killer / just slasher flicks where it's like, okay, what would make somebody want to do that? And that was my first thought was even if you wronged him in the slightest way, could have been like she took the ring off. It could have been you're friends with the girl that just pissed me off.
No,
you know?
I get that. I get the ring off because that is sort of he was really enamored with her. Genuinely, I think. Because he was always trying to smile and get her stuff and get her attention, but he was annoyed at the blonde friend.
Yeah. So now
So
I feel
I
like
get that.
my theory to add to it, because then people will say, well, what about the other pizza guy?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he just became a witness. Like now,
yeah, he was wrong place, wrong time.
in the wrong place, wrong time. So that's why he kind of just continued on with, okay, well, you walked in and saw my birthday cake, if you will, of this person's head with candles or lights.
Okay,
and
the exterminator.
yeah. No. I'm talking the
pizza
I
guy.
know.
But
Let's tell me about
So-
why did he kill the exterminator?
the exterminator, again, it could be a witness. It could just be wrong place, wrong time.
But
That
he
person
didn't
was
see
there.
anything at that point. Art snuck up on him while he was still spraying and had no idea that anything
But
was,
he
wrong.
he was on the phone.
He was on the phone with the guy, but he turned around and smacked him with a hammer. He had
Correct.
no idea that anything was going wrong or the one was in trouble at all at
The
that point.
story, the story though was going that there was a part of you hoping that exterminator
Was
helped
going
the
to
girls.
save her, sure.
Right.
And
So
he
I
did
think
for a
that's
little
why
bit.
they did it, was to crush your hopes of that guy being the hero.
Sure.
But that doesn't fit his theory as to Art attacking people because they wronged him or whatever.
They
I
could-
mean,
he
I
could
think
have
that's
wronged him.
part of it, but I don't think that's the whole story. I think he's still
Because he comes back to, I don't want to say come back to life, but he's still alive technically, right? Later
sure,
on.
but that could have been a mistake because Art hit him with a hammer and he fell unconscious. Art thought
So that was
killed
maybe
him.
Art's way of saying, like, I'm going to give you a chance to just die.
Just go away.
Yeah, and go away. But then, you know what? You came back. Now you're going to feel my wrath.
Okay.
So,
now you're in for it.
Okay. So I'm going to take it in a slightly different direction. So you have this building that, from the front of it, looks like a school or a hospital or something or other, and yet there is a junkyard and mechanic, some like mechanic yard thing at the back of it. Like, what kind of a building is that?
we go back to those same three words again.
Can we say those together, Mike?
It's a movie.
I don't believe you.
this is based on a true story.
So one interesting thing
Sorry.
that I forgot to mention in the episode. So all those tunnels were obviously not filmed where that building was. That was
Why
actually
that obvious that made you believe it was in that building?
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
It's a movie.
I guess it's not obvious.
Obviously, they weren't filmed
So
there.
there was a sanitarium that was close to where they were generally filming, and whilst they couldn't have access to the main building because it was still an active sanitarium, they gave them access to the tunnels, and the tunnels were there for them to move bodies around so that when someone died in the sanitarium, they didn't have to take the bodies in front of the crazy people.
Yeah, I think that's sort of ancillary to what they don't build those tunnels just to carry the bodies. They built, because I know about these sanitariums. There's some in Elgin, Illinois,
Right.
actually. They built the tunnels for the pipes. They just happen to also use them to carry bodies. But I get your point.
Haunted Sanitarium in Elgin or what?
Yeah, the one right there on 31, I think that is. Is that 31?
Still open?
Part
of it is, yeah.
They rebuilt it. So the old part, they tore down all the buildings. The newer
I
part.
smell a little ghost hunting tour.
Oh
here,
my
boys.
God,
It's
I
crazy.
would love to.
we
Is
tried
it?
to get that.
Oh, you
tried to get that property for the purge.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
No joke.
We're way off subject here, but
I know. we'll talk after the show. Anyway, so the difference though is they were two different movies. Just to go back to the whole pitting them against each other. They're both clown movies. They're both horror movies. They're both scary. They're not scary. Let me rephrase that.
one of them is not scary.
One of these things is not.
They're both
like the
graphic.
other.
I
They're
think
very
they're-
graphic,
I
but
think
one's
they're both
got
scary.
fun kills. The other one's got gross yet still fun kills.
I felt Terrifier did have scary parts.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
so. I think it was edge of your seat
Totally.
stuff. Yeah.
And there were some, I don't want to call them jump scares because they didn't catch me, but there were some jump scares in Stitches, but it was more just, coincidental. I feel like it's, he was behind the person or something that when you weren't expecting. And things like which I really actually liked in Stitches was when the mom's walking up behind the son in the beginning, and she has her hair all over the place, and it kind of looks like Stitches coming up behind him, and it ends up being the mom. Little things like that I thought were good. You're like, oh, is this must be a dream or something? And they're like, no, it's his mom.
But see, to me, that's the whole point, is that in Stitches, everything they did that they led to a scare was for the comedy. Everything they did, they were leading up to a joke.
Yeah, I felt like the comedy portion was to make sure you understood. So, like, you understood it was meant to be funny. So I felt like the one-liners were the icing on the cake, right? Here's your Velociraptor, or
Right,
whatever. But and things like that. And what was the other one we
The
liked?
cat with 9 lives.
Clearly,
How
you've
many
got the
lives?
stomach for
Yeah,
it.
clearly. Oh my god, like that one, I lost my shit on that one. I'm like, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
That was good.
Now would that fly nowadays? Probably not. But
Why not?
But that's But see, that's that's sort of the thing I like about both of these movies is the point of it is that it's so over the top in both of them. I mean, I could see Stitches using a hacksaw to cut somebody in half. I could see the opposite. I could see Art, pulling out somebody's intestines and giving them like a
But like I said, but when Art does it, it's for the shock. It's the turn, the drastic turn of events, what you did not expect. In Stitches, it's for the joke. That's my point.
Well, and also like for art,
it's for the punchline. I feel like.
Well,
with
that's what I
Stitches.
mean. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying by the joke. Is the punchline, the funny part. It's for the
because,
funny.
Because I think for art,
Not for the money.
The comedy in art in Terrifier is Art's mannerisms.
Yeah.
In other words, it's like
The pantomime.
Do you think it's it sounds bad, but unintentional comedy?
Absolutely not.
No,
I mean,
Everything's on
unintentional in the sense that you're not supposed to laugh at it. Like people like us laugh at this, but I could guarantee you, some person that off the street watches this, they're gonna go, "This is disgusting."
No, they were
no.
totally going for the
Yeah,
craziness.
I think so.
Just to keep you on your toes the whole way. Like,
Yep.
how am I supposed to take this guy? Is he
But-
a
Yeah.
ruthless
but I think
murderer
that was the
or a
fun of it.
comedian?
But
Like,
I think to
you know-
Logan's point, though, I think it is like your average non-horror fan looks at someone smiling when they're hacking someone up as they're clearly a sadistic person. In other words, it's like it takes a horror fan to look at that and still maybe think that they're a sadistic person, but like see the comedy in it.
I
think,
don't know if I agree with that 100%. I get what you're saying, but I think that the fact that Art the Clown isn't just smiling at you to be comic, he's doing the pantomime with, the over exaggerated laughter, the looking at the guy like, look, isn't this funny that I'm doing this? That makes him endearing. And that's the difference, because you love Art the Clown because he's funny, and yet even though he's scary and doing horrific things, you love the guy. He's being a pantomime.
Okay, and so to that point, so like I love Stitches as a movie.
Yep.
But I don't think that Stitches is vaguely as comedically funny as Terrifier is.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
We got words to come up now.
So what I mean by that is just simply, it's.
You should clarify what just happened
That
for
was
those people
that was
listening.
way
This
that was
cork-
way too hard, Lon.
This cork in the bottle of backbone. So Logan, first of all, is just guzzling down the backbone.
And he probably has the longest drive of us.
And I wanted to pour him some more, and I'm trying to get the cork off of this. This is the tightest cork I've ever dealt with.
Are you
And
saying
I've
you need a
had-
Heat it
hacksaw
up.
to get it
I've had
out?
some
See,
big
see,
corks,
it up.
my friend.
It's
I've
so
had some
tight.
big corks in some small holes.
Very tight.
and
It's very tight. This one's
I
a
should
keeper.
call her. Anyway. Wow.
Anyway,
All right. No, so you felt that Stitches comedy
Was not
What
as
do you think it would
funny?
be two different types of comedy? Because
that's
because
a
I
bold
think
statement
Stitches
here.
is
Hang on.
slapstick comedy. I think
Yes.
Stitches is slapstick comedy
not
with
completely, but
with horror.
slapstick
Undertones?
comedy is physical.
Undertones.
That's
Okay.
physical comedy. He doesn't do any pratfalls or anything like that. I think it's different
there's
than
physical comedy.
Yeah, I
in
think that's
Stitches.
physical comedy.
physical comedy.
Yeah.
but that
I mean, come on, the cat.
But no,
But
no,
that's
the-
different than-
But the physical comedy isn't just the physical, like him slipping on a banana. The physical comedy is the ripping off of the penis. The physical comedy is the pulling out of the intestines. That's all physical comedy. I think because, and I think you touched on it before. I think he does it 100% for the gag. He does it 100% for the laugh that's going to come from it.
Right.
I think
He being, you're talking about Stitches.
Stitches.
Okay.
when Art does it, Art is all about the killing. He's all about like the maiming and the dismemberment
Correct.
and all that kind of stuff. And the comedy that he emotes is really more of
Man, you thought the shit of
like
this.
him.
I like it.
I'm trying to
you
work
made
out.
him lose his train of thought.
I know.
I think what you're
Fucking
trying to
Logan.
say is that
Save his ass, Mike.
if
Nope,
in
too late.
In Stitch's case, okay,
There we go again.
like if a clown like Stitches was going to go and get revenge on kids, he did it exactly the way you would expect a clown like Stitches to
Right.
do it.
And the way you would do it if you were a clown.
Well, no,
I
because
get
not
it.
all clowns are, like Art's different. Art's more serious. Art takes you on this whole roller coaster ride.
Yes, agreed.
Stitches is, he's like, all right, you little bastards.
Yeah.
That was pretty good Stitches, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Good job.
And I think he, for who he is and what his character was, I think they did a good job with. It's hard for me to say this,
Why?
but I
'Cause
think
he
they did a
rates
good
it so
job.
lowly.
They did a good job with the kills based on
Well,
his
were-
character.
The thing is
Wonderfully
with
enjoyable
with
kills.
Stitches, it made me wonder. He's only got what 2 kids left to kill.
I was thinking the same thing.
So even if they did make a second one, I almost wish they wouldn't have shown. Maybe they could have just shown the egg all cracked on the ground or whatever. Honestly, though, I did like the ending, how he almost touched the egg, and then
Yeah.
he comes up and finally just the kid kicks him in the back. I was like,
The nose.
because I'm like, oh, he's
And
gonna
it
fucking
still
miss
get
it
the
by like 2 seconds.
the honking noise.
So I feel like there was no need for Stitches to have a sequel, and I'm glad they haven't made one, to be honest. But even just alluding to it,
It would have been a
like-
stretch to
But-
create a sequel.
and that
But
would have made you
honestly-
happy because there was no blowjob clown at the end.
honestly,
Well, who knows? Maybe there would be.
Yeah.
any movie nowadays, any horror movie, they always the producers will make sure there's some sort of opening for a sequel, because if it becomes popular enough, they will
but
make
see,
a
but
sequel.
see, I think that's where Damien Leone does that differently. Like he ended that, and you could have said that's done, but then he went the
How did he
supernatural.
end it?
Well,
Because he blew his brains out.
Yeah, but that wasn't the end of the movie.
And then he woke up in the
rest of the movie.
Correct.
The movie ended
But
with
that's
him
what I'm saying
waking
is
up.
he could have ended there because you have to see
But he
past into
didn't.
the credits. I
So
understand that.
Leone did not think,
But,
saying to myself, I
there's
wanna leave
probably
it
people
closed.
that thought it
He
was over at
left
that
it
point,
open.
right?
But-
Whereas, like with Stitches, they thought it was over, but you knew you're like, it's an egg. He's probably going to piece it back
But
together.
to your point, you even said this earlier, that he knew that to leave it open for a sequel, he left that part in on purpose. I mean, put that part in on purpose.
Yeah, more because of, like you mentioned, the shock value.
Because
You're thinking, oh,
absolutely.
he's not gonna, he's gonna shoot the cops, or he's gonna do suicide.
Comes
by
out of
cop.
left field
Yeah.
that he wakes up, and by the way, just so happens to leave it open for a sequel.
Yep.
But guess what? There was a sequel.
But I do think that it's actually interesting, and I'd love to be able to talk to Damien Leone about this.
Damien, why don't you contact
When you
us?
Yeah, he's one of our subscribers.
We would love to interview. I would love to
Well, he
interview
shot. I mean,
you.
am I behind the game by saying that he shot himself because he knew he could come back?
No, I don't
No,
think he
I
knew.
agree.
I think he was
where
surprised.
where I'm going with this is literally we did not see any of the supernatural capabilities of it until that very, very final scene. Like the whole thing where he had the bloody gloves and he shakes his hands and now all of a sudden his gloves are perfectly clean.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
You know, and the fact that obviously he wakes up and kills the coroner. I wonder whether there was early screenings of it, and people there was like such like a fervor for, oh my god, this is like
I think we just got lucky.
The best thing.
I think that was Damien Leone's.
And they added that on the end.
Yeah, I think that was just his idea. He kept it in there. I don't know the screening side of things, but to be honest, I don't think he even had enough money to be able to screen it. He just said, "Here's what you get, and deal with it."
But because actually, part of where I was going also was exactly the money side. Out of every single scene in that movie, that last scene in the autopsy room is the scene that looks the cheapest.
Agreed.
It looked really, really low rent.
Agreed, but that wasn't the only scene that looked pretty low rent. Like I said, the whole cat lady, when they showed that her chest was ripped off, that looked like just jelly spread on boobs, and her only had one strip and he had a whole wig. There were little flaws like that throughout. But the coroner was a horrible actor.
But that's what I'm saying.
The cops were horrible
I wonder whether
actors.
that was like
The producers
was added
saying,
on.
you know what, you're right. The producers probably went to him and say, he shot himself in the head, but we need him to come back.
Right.
Mr. Leone, is that what happened? Can you call us? Can you comment down below?
Yes.
I want to
Please.
talk to this guy. That's a good question.
Maybe by doing that, it takes art to that next level of like not invincibility but immortality.
Agreed. But was that part of Leone's concept? Was
Right.
that part of the original script, or was that a producer add-on?
Who knows?
Well, that's
I mean,
what
that
we wanna
I know,
know.
right? That's
To
I'm
be
just
honest,
saying
So
though.
inquiring minds
from an-
want to know.
I'm
why.
trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out why they did it in the first place. Like, why? What would even? What? How would that benefit the character?
The way I looked at it and I interpreted it was, they did it to relieve the other to relieve. This is going to sound stupid, but it's a movie. But to
stupid.
relieve the people's minds that he's dead.
That's
Right?
stupid.
Because it's already been on the news, it's already been out there, and now if he kills himself, he's dead. Yeah, he shot himself. He's been shot in the head. I'm sure that everybody thinks, okay, he's done. He's dead. Like people, same thing with like Michael Myers. Everybody thought when, I think it was in the fourth one when he gets shot by like 1,000 bullets and he
Right.
falls. Oh, he's dead. We're not even going to look for him, type of thing. So
He did turn into Rambo there, though.
Yeah.
Navigate
Just
that mind.
Just for a bit. Yep.
But I think that was what his intention was. Is Art knew, okay, I can get out of this situation, by pretending to kill myself. I don't think he knew that he could. He would come back in the coroner's office. I think he was probably thinking he was going to wake up before that, maybe. But I don't know. I think that the main thought of Damien on that was, I think that was his intention, but I also think the shock value and then also the relief of, okay, he's done, because some people could have left right after that and been like, okay, he's dead, all right, we're good. And
Well, I think
because it's during the credits, right, that the the corner scene, right?
No.
No,
That's
right before the credits.
No,
It's
that's
right
before
before
the
the
credits.
credits.
Yeah, that's before the credits.
So I feel like some people, and then for the true horror fans, that was probably like, fuck yeah. You know, but then,
Actually, it's not even the last scene, because isn't the last scene the sister Victoria
hallway, yeah.
coming out of the
Right.
like, oh, you know, is she? Oh, good luck with your interview.
Right.
so
that was actually the last scene.
my
Right.
thought on that was that kind of goes back to my theory was the reason Victoria attacked the interviewer was because of the fact that
she made fun of her.
yes, but now she's also been, subjected to probably the worst torture in her life. Now she kind of takes on a little bit of art, right? Now you've got, if it's sort of like
So you're thinking Saw
Stockholm
syndrome.
syndrome.
Nah, more like Saw thing, right? Where the victim becomes enamored with
yes,
Saw.
yes, and the thought that, hey, you know what, this person's wrong. I'm gonna do what I'm taking care of this type
Right.
of thing. So
Right. Sees
now,
the
will she
purpose of the
continue
killer.
beyond that? You could technically say that she could become the next.
Well,
art.
so honestly, I think that a
We all
lot
got
of
a
this
little
stuff
art in us.
is he's got a story of Art, the killer clown. The backstory has not been established. He didn't need to establish it yet. He may have it in his mind, but that wasn't part of the movie. This movie was a little slice, right? You don't know his background. You don't know where Art came from. You don't know why he's the way he is or any of that stuff, why he does what he does. You don't know the point of his killings yet.
And I honestly hope that Damien doesn't ever explain that. It's
Well,
kind of the whole
that's
Michael Myers
problem.
approach, right?
People will want
I
to have
don't-
that explained.
Yeah, I don't want that though, and the
Well-
true fans are not going to want that, and I think Damien understands that.
I'm hoping.
I think
you're right.
sometimes when you try to give too much of a story on that, I think you just get away from what people care about.
I agree. It's not about his background. It's not about how he grew up as a child. It's about what the fuck is this clown doing?
But
well, I think the part that that's what makes it so good is that you don't fucking know, and
Right, it makes it
you can't
scarier.
figure it out, right?
That makes it scarier.
But
if you
it's-
suddenly have a reason, sorry. go ahead.
But no. But it's this thing we said in the episode. I think it all comes down to money. It depends on how close Damien Leone can keep control of that character. I think he is a genuine horror fan, and I think as a genuine horror fan, he's going to want to keep that secret, his background. He's going to, keep on finding reasons why he can continue moving forward and stuff like that.
Well, and he's
But
already
for the
proven
budget-
too.
but-
He's already proven through his Indiegogos and things like that to keep that. What do you want to call it? To keep that
Independence.
independence. Yeah, that
yeah.
he's gonna basically do whatever he has to. So he might get offered $5 million for Terrifier 3. And then he says, "Okay, well, here's my stipulations," and they go, "No, we don't agree with that. We want with that $5 million, we expect X, Y, Z." And he'll just be like, "Fuck you! I can go back to Indiegogo and make Terrifier 3." So I think he's gonna have that clout, enough clout, because I mean, Jesus Christ, how much money has that made compared to, he's got that clout that he can say that.
Well,
and
hopefully
say,
he doesn't have to do an Indiegogo again. I mean, I think.
I kind of hope he does, because that keeps. I think that keeps that.
Yeah, but he
whole,
made a shit ton of money off of and it was the first one made a good amount of money.
Yep.
Terrifier 2 made tons of money.
Yep.
And
What was the
and
budget
when
of
he-
Terrifier 2?
Terrifier 2, I did the Indiegogo. I paid for. I ended up getting
But-
a signed script by Damien Leone.
But that's not the only thing he made money from for Terrifier 2 was the Indiegogo. He had other
No.
funds.
Now,
in
and the funny thing was that was during COVID. I literally paid for that in 2019. I didn't get it until 2022.
okay.
So it took years to get that, but I was willing to wait. I'm like, I don't care. I want to see this come to fruition.
Right. No, I
So-
get it. But
so I think that a lot of people, and based on a lot of the messages on there, they were like, "I'll wait."
but what I'm trying to get at is how much did he make from the Indiegogo for Terrifier 2 versus how much he spent on the film for Terrifier 2?
Oh, Terrifier 2 had
And what other
I think he
funds
originally
did he
asked
have?
for $250K, and I think he was close to $1 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Is what he spent
No, that's what he got for backing.
from
The backing
Indiegogo.
From
Indiegogo was
that was
$1 million.
Indiegogo. I think he also did. What's the other one? Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
That one.
But
according to Work,
I
it's
did
this.
the Indiegogo, so that's the only reason why I remember that. But yeah, I
GoFundMe, maybe.
GoFundMe.
No,
Not GoFundMe.
Kickstarter.
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 There you go. So I think he did do a Kickstarter as well. But that's what I think keeps it, also keeps him on that tight budget. And, maybe we're getting too much into Terrifier 2, but I feel like with Terrifier 2, it didn't need to be as long as it needed to be. But he also wanted to get his point across. So there's certain things. We'll review Terrifier 2 at some
Do you think that he knew when he made Terrifier 1 that it was going to be something that led to a Terrifier 2?
By the time he made Terrifier 1, yes.
Yeah.
Because
you
the
get
simple
that feeling,
fact that
right?
He had the short movie. It was successful enough. He
Yeah,
parlayed
that's
that
right.
into...
I forgot about that.
into
The character was already sort of...
Right. And then when he had the success of All Hallows Eve, then he was like, dude, I got something here. Let me make Terrifier 1. He had 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Honestly, though, if somebody other than David Howard Thornton had done...
He
art,
kind of lucked out.
I think that I probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
I mean,
it depends. I would have to see that.
That's speculation.
Yeah,
There's no way we can know that.
There
But
absolutely could have been another character.
absolutely.
I
Might
mean,
be somebody else.
When Pennywise first came out with Tim Curry, it's like no one could see anyone else other than Tim Curry as Pennywise.
did a
But
fucking
Skarsgård
Right.
was
And then
just like-
Skarsgård comes and blows away.
right.
Let's talk about Joker. How many people have played Joker yet? Who thinks the best Joker? Anybody? Nobody wants to jump. Heath Ledger. And to
Not
me,
Cesar Ramirez.
I was going to say Caesar. I was going to say
think
that just
about
to
that.
piss you off.
Everybody says, well, once Jack Nicholson plays
So
Joker, nobody else
see-
can play it better. And then Heath Ledger comes along, and you're like,
Ah,
holy
Jesus Christ.
fuck, that's
That
way
was-
better.
Speaking of, did you ever see Heath Ledger? They think Heath Ledger. I don't know if he actually did this, but he sounds.
He's
very,
dead. He's dead, right?
Well, yes, he is.
Oh my God.
Wow. See, there. This guy's got to always go to death. No, he sounded very similar to, and I can not John Waite. What's the guy's name?
What are we talking about?
Heath Ledger's voice.
Pee Wee
Heath
Herman.
Ledger doing
Heath Ledger's
Joker?
voice doing the Joker sounded very similar. I'll send you a video of it. But anyway,
Okay.
way off topic on that
Winnie
one. But
the
anyway,
Pooh? I'm not.
yeah,
I'm lost.
I just totally went off track. So we're gonna. I think the backbone's kicking in. Anyway,
Backbone.
no, but that's it. I see your correlation there. You've got Art the Clown in two separate movies, All Hallows Eve versus
That gave him the
Terrifier.
He knew what he was doing from that point on.
Yeah, but
the whole
I-
point was to keep parlaying that a character until it became somebody.
Well, and again, it's like anyone who makes a movie, you have people that watch the movie like as the movie's going along, and it's like, as I said before, I just really wouldn't be surprised if they had that final scene, and maybe in reality there was another scene after he shot himself, but they showed that final scene and test audiences said we want him to survive.
Producers said that.
Or producers
said
said that we want
because
him to
they
survive.
want him to do a 3 and 4 and 5.
Right.
Because they know he's got the popularity at the conventions just as much as Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Sam Hain. He's right up there.
Well, and merchandising and all that stuff.
Merchandising, they're making tons of money off of merchandising.
It's all about the
They got the
merchandising.
Schwartz
Spaceballs, the
We've got
flamethrower.
Terrifier the flamethrower.
Spaceballs, the lunchbox.
Hey, the Schwartz be with you.
Now, and that's the one thing I did get a little upset with, but I understood was I did hear that they did eventually kind of put some sort of a copyright on art because there was a lot of artists that were making their own art stuff, Art the Clown stuff, I should say. Art of art. They were making Art the Clown stuff, and now they have put in sort of a copyright on that. But that's also, I'm hoping that's for him to be able to, Damien, to be able to put
Make
that
money.
towards the next Terrifier film and to expand beyond even Terrifier. I mean, he's already starting with, in Terrifier 2, there's a newer character, things like that. So, I hope that that's what his intentions are. It could also just be like, hey, I want to be able to feed my family type of thing. Because, I know a lot of these people have to put a lot of money from their own pocket and from friends' pockets and things like that just to make these movies. And especially $35,000. I'm sure he had to borrow that from somebody. So
credit cards probably.
Yeah, or pay off a credit card. Yeah, I mean.
I did look. Terrifier 2. Again, we're off topic for Terrifier.
Nope.
But Terrifier 2 made 15 million, which is way less than I thought it made.
Really?
But I think
Terrifier 2?
But I think it was because it was released in the middle of COVID. So in other words, I think it got digital
was it
sales.
really released? I thought
It was like
post.
2021, the October of 2021, I think.
So
is
near
when it
the
came out.
end of, but
But certainly not. People weren't actively going seeing it in the movie theater and stuff like that.
I'm sorry, I said 2021. 2020, I think, is the end of 2020. I think is when it.
But
okay, well,
but
Terrifier
anyway,
3 will be making a butt.
I would just make the statement that I just thought that autopsy scene seemed cheap and tacked on.
I don't doubt that it was. I think that really the movie was supposed to end with him shooting himself in the head. But either producers or maybe Leone had it from the beginning to make him that way. Because let's face it, all the other characters went supernatural. Freddy Krueger was already kind of supernatural.
Right.
Michael Myers went supernatural by being killed so many times or shot or stabbed or whatever, and he still kept going.
Shot him 6 times.
That's unnatural. And Jason Voorhees, of course, was like obviously supernatural and brought to life with a metal pole in his chest and lightning bolts. So, which is more Frankenstein-y, but still the point is, Terrifier, if Terrifier wants to be that echelon of killer, he has to be invincible or immortal.
And this is just me, and it's kind of going off topic again, but in Terrifier 3, I almost hope that the torture happens to him. Does that make sense? Like in Terrifier 2, Terrifier 1, he does the hacksaw. Terrifier 2, there's that scene.
You know what I think?
Third one, I think that would be great to show him being tortured, and then the person thinking, "Oh, there, I killed him," and walking away, and then he just comes back.
You basically just said every horror trope for about 3 episodes or the 3rd or 4th sequel.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
Yep.
They give you hope that, oh, we finally got somebody that's killing Michael Myers. We finally have somebody that's killing Jason Voorhees.
Halloween 3, technically. He's
Just
not in
get
there,
Busta Rhymes. He'll take care of him.
I was going to say,
Exactly.
trick or treat, motherfucker.
Or even on the horrible Halloween with Friday the 13th with Corey Haim, where he chopped him with a machete and he landed on the ground and it sliced halfway through the brain of Jason Voorhees. That didn't stop the sequels. He still kept coming.
Yeah.
They do that. They tease you. They think, oh,
Well,
he's
it's a movie.
gone. He's
Well,
done.
right, what?
was it?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
You just
right.
look right past it.
Mike, could you say
Well,
that
he
one
found
more
his
time for
brain,
me?
and we put it back in.
You're right. So what was the explanation of that?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
And
Are we turning into Mario?
And then
It's a Mario.
even
Doesn't
when
have to make
even when they
sense.
do find that final thing that does actually kill them, they create another one and they just retcon that. You know
Correct.
what
They
they did
ignore
before.
the sequel before that.
Right.
You killed him? Well, he wasn't really dead because he had a hangnail that day and he didn't go to school.
that was a clone.
Yeah, right.
It's like Deadpool. All you need is one little drop of blood or whatever.
Right. But
No.
Deadpool's a comedy.
So if we had to, since people want us to pit them up against each other,
Terrifier.
I would
Terrifier.
definitely lean more towards
Terrifier.
Terrifier. And that's what's funny is that was the lower budget. Now, if you're looking for just slapstick, stupid comedy that, you know what, I'm in the mood for just a movie that I don't want to really think much and I'm just here to, laugh my ass off, then I'd say watch Stitches. I laughed.
I still can't get my head around the idea that it's a comedy.
Come on.
I mean,
it was
it's
funny the
it's-
whole way
I know it is
through.
funny, but it's
At what
not
point
a-
did you think to myself, well, this isn't a comedy. I'm laughing my ass off, but it's not a comedy.
I don't know. It's just so weird. I mean, I guess it's just because it's a foreign film and I'm just not used
It's
to how
not
it's
foreign.
done.
It's Irish.
Those bloody Irish, right? Am I right? I
Them
get
and
it,
their
man.
potatoes.
I
I
get
can't
you, brother.
watch it as a comedy.
But how can you take it as
There's
anything
too much
except
gore
a
for it
comedy?
to be like a comedy. I mean,
Gore
it's,
is
over the
funny.
top gore, right?
well, it is. It's just it pushes
It's-
through the comedy genre. I mean, I just don't see how you can classify it as
Okay,
a comedy.
so-
is there funny parts? Yes. He's got a smart mouth. He says a lot of funny shit. But I just don't see it as a comedy. When I watched it, I felt like it was like just a failed horror film.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
what I
We're
mean?
gonna do a quick little test here. All right.
I'll probably fail.
All right. So you're in a movie, or no? Let's just say there's a scene set where there's a a panicked man in a dark room, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a hand comes out and grabs his genitalia and rips it off. Is that a horror movie or a comedy?
It's more horror movie than comedy.
Okay, now, same guy, same room, but a clown enters, reaches in, pulls out his genitalia, and makes it into a balloon animal. Is that horror or comedy?
It's both.
Oh, come on. It's a comedy.
It's both. You
It's
can't
a
say it's
comedy.
not horror.
You
I mean,
can't say it's not comedy. It's
dude,
a fucking
comedy
clown
is Naked Gun or
who takes
Spaceballs.
genitals
But that's- see,
and
so
makes a
that's-
balloon
Airplane.
It's funny you
animal.
mention that because that's how I felt watching this. I mean, I've seen so many horror movies. I was able to pick up on that this is meant to be just slapstick. Like, you're supposed to laugh at this more than believe it, right? And that's now that granted that's I'm a seasoned veteran, but that was my first inkling was, okay, as soon as they start off with him banging the chick in the beginning and the horn getting in the way.
Oh, it sets you up right away.
It sets you up right
that
away.
set my
Magic
tone.
comedy.
Get the setup.
That set my tone to go, okay, this guy doesn't need to be wearing the clown outfit or the makeup,
Simple fact that the clown makeup was sloppily put on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
His wig didn't fit properly. His hair was coming
and his
out from under
fucking
the
thing was
wig.
ready to fall off the side of a cliff. His
And he
caravan.
had a car that was just ridiculously taped together with tape over the eye. That
It was a very good pickup on that.
Yeah.
I like it. So
I did think it was actually kind of funny though, where it's like, so he goes up to the house, and his mum's like, the mum's like, you're late, and he's like, cash in advance.
Yep.
And she finds the money, hands him the money,
And he grabs the
and he
rest.
grabs the other part. It's like, okay, well there was either a set amount that you were supposed to pay, or there wasn't.
no dough, no show.
It was the comedy of showing that he was so irreverent that he would
Right.
go
and
for the
the
bigger
fact that he
cash
nearly took
pile.
out the kids on the way. It's like he just doesn't give a shit, and he's gonna do. Don't be yawning.
Well,
I'm
according
sorry.
to the yawn, I think
Get
we're
out of the
going
way,
past
you
our
little
time.
bastards.
So
Somebody's tie.
we've had our last words on it, but give me your final words on preference of movie between those two and why. Quickly.
Between the two, Terrifier,
Quicker.
just done. No, Terrifier because it's more on the serious side, but also has a little bit of comedy in there as well.
Yeah,
Warwick.
I agree totally. I mean, I think it is just overall a better movie. I can watch Terrifier. I can watch both of them many, many times, but like Terrifier is just a better movie.
Mike.
Terrifier by far. It's more my speed. That's my kind of movie. The other, not so much.
And I'm also Terrifier. It's clearly the better movie, but it's not meant to be a straightforward comedy all the way through. It's meant to be funny and scary, and where you don't know where you're supposed to laugh and not laugh.
And they hit on everything. They
And
really
that
did.
was,
Yeah.
to me, genius. So, Terrifier.
I agree.
All right.
So one thing I did want to talk about, and I think timing wise of when this comes out,
Who the
maybe,
fuck
maybe
knows?
this is going to be a moot point. But we are trying to organize a live event in this very location for September 16th.
What location is that?
That would be Ghoulish Mortals, 228 West Main Street, St. Charles, Illinois.
Don't throw up.
And we're going to watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Just to keep the clown theme going.
Just to keep the clown thing going. And so hopefully we will post other promo stuff on the Ghoulish Mortals page and the MMD page and any other page that we have access to.
Hopefully somebody that's here can join us for that too, maybe.
Yes, hopefully
I'm open.
Kyle.
Me? Can I join?
No, we
Oh.
don't want. We got Mike now. We don't need you.
Yeah, I thought were you going to show your play the Kyle clip?
I was, just for him. So,
You saw the video, the MP3 clip I sent, right?
no.
I
When did you
it
send that?
on the MP3 on our thread.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, my phone is over there.
I don't get it on this one, so get this.
Do I need to see it?
This does not pick up because somebody here is on an Android, so it doesn't show
Oh,
up.
motherfucker.
Can you believe it? Somebody actually uses a fucking Android?
Douchebag.
Can you believe that
indeed.
shit?
Do you get it? Did you see the
Let me see. There you are.
because we're kind of losing the comedy of.
We lost it. Yeah, hold on here.
It was fairly.
Can you
recent.
pull it up quicker,
I'm not
fucking
seeing it in
Logan?
here.
Because
Go
you're
back
fucking
down.
moving the fucking
It's that thing
comedy.
that has the link on it.
Where?
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. If you're on a
Too
decent-
late. It's gone.
If you're on a right there, that thing.
Oh, no, that's Bloomberg.
Oh.
That's what I sent you.
There should have been a P cloud.
No, nothing. What? There's a TikTok.
That's a TikTok.
Should I play that portion?
No. Anyway,
Well,
So,
you, Kyle.
Fuck you, Kyle. So Kyle, just so you don't know,
there you go.
Kyle suggested a movie for a live show,
The Evil Dead.
and we did it.
Because
And
we're
he
like, wow,
didn't
that's a
show
really
up.
good idea.
And then we had a no-show.
And at least
No
we know
kidding.
that at least
Yep.
we know that we'd have at least one person show up, and that would be Kyle.
Because we try to do what our fans want us to do. And Kyle was very adamant, oh, you should do Evil Dead. Not the sequel, you should do the original, and let's do a whole live show. And him and his group usually come, they do themed drinks, they dress in costume and character of the movie. And we thought,
This is what's
okay,
left of Kyle.
Kyle
Currently, for
wants
the
it.
podcast people, this is me holding up a
Kyle's
torn up leg.
leg.
So we did Kyle's
with the
request.
swastika.
Kyle didn't show up. Fuck you, Kyle.
The one person that requested the fucking movie didn't
Yep.
show up to the live event.
Was he? Is he just a frequent customer?
Get with the program,
here, or-
Cal.
No, he's,
No.
well, he comes to all. He came to the live shows before.
We
He
are
came.
trying
Right.
to give him as much shit as possible.
Yes. Well, because it was actually funny because like in that live event we made fun of the fact that this guy Kyle, suggested this movie, and like his friends were in the back row and they're like, "Oh, is that my Kyle? You know,
Yeah.
like our Kyle or whatever." And
Yeah.
so like he
Like,
then,
where is Kyle?
He then heard about the fact that we were like calling him out and saying he was a piece of shit.
Yep.
So now we just make fun of
I-
the fact that.
He did.
So
he,
have you seen him since?
Yeah,
Oh
he's-
yeah, yeah. He
he's-
came up
he's-
to one of our
and
one of the
he's been in
shows
the
that we
store a
do,
few times.
Flashback Weekend, and he was like, just talking, we were just talking about the show and stuff like that. So I didn't give him any shit then, but as soon as he left, I was like,
Well, fuck you, Kyle. Kiss my balls, asshole.
because he didn't show up.
Anyway,
We like him in person, but when he's not here, fuck you, Kyle.
we like
When you're
it-
here, we love you, Kyle.
We like everyone else except for Kyle.
Oh, if we have a live show and Kyle doesn't show up, Kyle, you're
Oh,
so
bad.
fucking
Yeah,
dead.
I don't care.
You're
What, I don't care.
so
I don't care
fucking
whether
dead.
you've like lost some family member
I don't
and,
give a
and it's
shit.
a funeral. It's like you need to be fucking.
I don't care
here.
if you show up and you don't have 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 arms. You better show up.
Wow.
Yes. So no pressure.
All right, and thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for everybody for
Thank you to our guest, whose second appearance at this is your 6th show.
6 episodes.
It is, yeah.
It
Thank
took
you
me
guys
7th.
for having me. I
Seventh?
appreciate
Oh,
it.
we did because we did the Bourbon show in the middle.
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
7th show.
7 shows.
Yeah.
Out of how many
Lucky
total?
number 7.
Out of out of
32?
30 some
30
shows.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've done a lot of shows.
We're up there.
so.
But
pretty-
you've been. I can't remember. what I
Our
was
most
gonna say.
frequent guest.
Our most frequent guest. You're 100% correct.
He's our only guest.
I know, but still.
All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna have other guests. Are you offended at that?
Suckle a teat of
No, I don't
everyday
care.
barbecue.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Anyway, we're over an hour, so hopefully this
Jesus
is recorded because
Christ.
the lights flashing.
Yeah,
we
we're fine.
don't care.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's there.
Yeah.
Might be malfunctioning.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna lose viewers anyway.
Thank you,
All
everybody.
right.
Love
Thank
you,
you,
everyone.
everyone. Social media.
Around here.
Social media, it's blocking out Logan.
All around there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in this case, it's also blocking out work. I think at this point,
Ooh,
big old circle.
yeah.
But Mike
It's
and
like
I can be seen.
it's like
so
a
hello,
win-win.
everybody. All right, and fuck you, and out.